Hi, in this video I'll be covering how to create an actual versus budget line chart with labels. Are you going to present in some meeting and need to quickly show how your expenses are comparing? This chart is a great way to visualize something with like how your actual budget lines up with your projected budget. You need a visual, and one of the best ones is the humble line chart. You see a line chart almost every day if you follow financial news, so you know most business people have seen it. So why not use it to your advantage to quickly show you how you're doing? It's simple to create, but you also want it to be clear, and that's where some labeling comes into play. Let's check it out.
So here are my two examples. First example is going to be where if you want your labels for your line charts to be on the left of the chart, and the second one is going to be if we want it to be on the right of the chart. So let's go with the first one. This one is a little bit more simple, and I'm going to bring in this data, Control C to copy. I'm going to go to sheet 1, Control V to paste, and all I need to do is insert a chart, go to insert, and then insert a line chart, bring this over here. I'm going to get rid of my grid lines, delete that, and all I need to do is select my line chart. You can see it's selected all the data points here for the budget. This is the first one I'm going to do. I want to select it again, so I just select that data point, right click, add data label. And it's going to add the data label, and it's going to add that value to 2769 here. You can see that's the value there. Select it again, Control 1 to bring up the formatting menu or navigation panel here. And you notice that it says Format Data Labels. We can just change the label for that particular point, or we can change it for all the data labels here in this point. So in this particular setting, I probably would try to do it as the labels for all points, but just for that particular one that's showing that we selected to have it show. So I'm going to select values from cells, and for the data label range, I'm just going to pick budget here. So it's only going to pick that particular range, just B1. Click OK, and you can see it's shown that particular label. I'm going to select it again, select it, and then just get rid of value there. And so it changes that, move that over here. Do the same thing for this one, select that, select it again, right click, and then add data label, select that, and all I want is the value from the cell, and I just want the actual. Click OK. It's going to select the value from the cell. I need to go back and click it again, so it just looks at that label there. Click value from cells, just select my actual here, click OK. Go back in to make sure that my label option is selected, the one without the S. Uncheck value, uncheck leader lines. Let's move this over, and it's kind of getting covered by my label axis here. I don't want that, so click on that. We got the format axis available here. I want to select here where I have my axis options, go under labels, and the label position, let's make that high. Brings that over there. Now I can adjust this a little bit and change it a little. So if I've got other values that, let's say I put January now, I'm going to go to January here, and I'll just put 2000 and then 1000. Nothing changes, right? Because we haven't selected the area where the chart is going to reference. So I'll move these guides down. You can see that it's moved it there. I have my budget and actual still here. It doesn't change. So delete that. And we can add more things later on. February, let's just make this 3000 and then maybe 2000, right? Do the same thing here. But that's not dynamic, right? And so I'm going to show you my next example where we can make it a little bit more dynamic and you don't have to keep doing this, and also having it on the right. So let's go for example 2 where we have our budget and actual labels here on the right. So I'm going to take this, Control C to copy, new sheet, Control V to paste. So I mentioned before in this second example, I want to make this a little bit more automated, so we don't have to keep moving things around. So what we need to do is actually have two columns, one for the actual data and one for the label. I call this budget underscore data, actual underscore data. Let me go and copy these headers so I don't have to type it in again. Bring it back here to sheet 3, Control V to paste. What I need to do is make a formula. So the formula is going to do is this, if it's going to look at the row below and sees that it is empty, it'll bring up the value here. If it's not empty, it'll bring up an NA. So to do that, it's going to be an if statement. So I'm going to type equals if is blank. Let me move this tip here down so you can see this. If this is blank, then bring back the value here above it. Otherwise, NA. So the way that Excel charts work, when there's an NA instead of a 0, it's not going to chart it. It doesn't know what to do with it. So it's not going to bring any data into that chart. press enter, you can see that's NA. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. All I need to do is for the actual data, just copy that over. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Right now there is value here. So that's why it brings up NA. If I delete this, delete that, you can see it brings back the values there. Control Z to undo that. Now to make this all that more dynamic, now what I can do is turn this to a table. Let me delete this January data first. Press delete because I'm gonna show you an example of entering January data in. So select these range of cells. Press Control T. It's going to ask to create a table. My table does have headers. You click OK, and now that works there. Select this, double click to bring that value down. So you can see that it's copied the formulas down. And so the last one here, it sees that's a blank there, so it's going to bring back the values there. Now I can bring this into a chart. Go to Insert and click on my line chart. And you can see my chart is there. Get rid of the grid lines again, press delete, and I want to select my budget and actual. I want these to be the ones that provide the labels. So we're going to do this a little bit differently here. So I'm going to select my point there, right click, add data labels, and select my data labels here. Go under my format here, my label option, select that. And this one it's okay. Even though if I got the data labels here, I've selected that there. I just want the series name. Click on value, uncheck that, and click on the second one here, right click, add data label, add data labels, select my data labels. I've got my labels S here, that's fine. On data labels, we'll select series name, uncheck value, uncheck show leader lines. Let's bring this in a little bit more. Since I've got my labels here, I don't need my legend anymore. Select that and press delete. Let's try a new line now. Press tab, January, tab 2000, and then actual data 1000. Press tab, and you can see that it's changed it there. And so if I do another one, let's try another one. Let's make sure it works. February, let's make this 3000 and then make this 2000. 1, 2, 3. And it's changed that, but you can see that there's an error here. And so sometimes this happens where there's some inconsistency. What I probably would do is just go back up here, double click so the formula copies down, and let's try go for March. All right, we'll do March. Let's make this 5000, and let's see if we get that error anymore. And then make this 1000, and you see that error's disappeared. So sometimes that's what happens. There's inconsistent formulas. You just need to double click. Go on the top, double click, and have that formula come back down, and it should probably take care of it. And so we've got our budget and actuals, and those don't change now. You can add as much data to the subsequent rows, and we've got our budget and actual actually show for our data labels.
I hope you can appreciate that creating a line chart with labels is a great tool for tracking your budget and ensuring that you stay on track. This is a great way to see where your money is going and keeping your stakeholders in the loop and hopefully happy on the progress. To see more videos like this, click the banner at the end.